I rise to talk about the recent environmental impact statement that submissions closed about the Western Sydney Airport. This was a rare occasion that people from Western Sydney could actually finally provide some feedback about the airport. This member statement is a private member statement is not going to reopen the debate whether we should or shouldn't have the airport. As we all know, be operating within 2 years or so. So this is more actually the feedback on the environmental impact statement that actually explored a whole range of issues, whether it's noise, environment, the business case, etc. Minister Catherine King today announced that there was something like 8,000 submissions that were received about the environmental impact statement. And I'm happy, and even though it's 25 electorates across Western Sydney, I'm happy to say that from my understanding that at least 600 of the submissions came from my electorate of Blacktown, raising key concerns. These concerns focus predominantly around noise and the economic statements that was produced in the EIS, as well as other issues. One thing we need to look at is the way the EIS is structured in relation to dealing with noise. Generally, it's focused on stage one, the smallest part of the airport, when it's going to have 10 million passengers or less. But then all the advantages, all the economic bonus that they talk about is based on when the airport eventually has 82 million passenger movements. They'll say we'll have 63,000 jobs that be generated from this. If you think about it, that's only 1,500 jobs a year that will come out of this massive investment and all the noise and all the problems. Yet the city of Blacktown, for instance, at the moment grows at 2,500 jobs without an airport. Everything counts, I suppose, every investment, even if there's vertical bus stop. But the thing is, with 82 million passenger movements, significant cargo haulage, 370,000 air traffic movements, that's 1,000 flights a day, and no fuel plan other than transport by truck raises a lot of legitimate concerns. The other elements that we're worried about is when we're looking at the operation, really the east versus west. Wise Mascot has a flight restrictions of 80 flights per hour and a curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and yet Western Sydney Airport has absolutely no restrictions whatsoever. Could we be entitled to a 2-hour sleep at night? Maybe 1 till 3 in the morning, maybe 3 hours, obviously, so we need to look at where's the equity between the two airports, etc. The other confusion that we get from the government was talking about the EIS was that anything 60 decibels and above is where concerns arise. Yet the UK Civil Aviation Authority found that between 45 and 60 decibels will cause problems, such as significant concerns for public health, increased rates of heart attack, increased rates of hypertension leading to strokes, increased levels of cardiovascular disease, increased annoyance and psychological health issues, adverse impact on children's cognitive learning, particularly for younger children in preschool. There's evidence that long-term aircraft noise has harmful effect on memory, sustained attention, reading comprehension, reading ability for children. So all these issues need to be looked at, and not just worrying about that it's just at the 60 decibel mark. These children will be exposed for lots of time, and therefore we need to make sure our schools are safe and that our Western Sydney children don't fall further behind. The other thing, we shouldn't just focus on stage one, the flight paths, because as the airport expands, you'll have a situation where the flight paths will be changing. We need to lock in the rules today to apply into the future, because let's face it, 82 million passenger movements is the anticipation. That's 34% larger than the world's largest airport in 2023, which was Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson in the USA. It's 26 million passengers more than the one that came in second place, which is Dubai International Airport. There's so much that needs to be examined as far as the airport. I thank the Labor federal government for finally being the first time being able to address the EIS and seeking feedback. I hope they take on board what we've raised. Thank you.